Ayan, got it. Okay, so a blessed morning, everyone. So again, Our Lady of Fatima University rise to the top. So what is our topic for the day? It's all about the nervous system. Now, what can you observe with our illustration? It talks about, and it's structurally, it talks about, of course, the nervous system that covers the CNS and the PNS. Of course, CNS is referring to central nervous system. And of course, the PNS, the peripheral nervous system. And of course, that is, again, structurally, this composed of the two major divisions that I mentioned a while ago. And obviously, CNS composed of the brain and the spinal cord. And as I upload and publish in our Canvas, I decided to separate the two. Okay, CNS and the PNS. And let's start discussing all about, of course, the CNS, the brain and the spinal cord, and that follows the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. And before that, let me give to you the unit expected outcomes. Okay, so first, list the characteristics, divisions, and functions of the nervous system, followed by describe the relationship between the spinal cord and, of course, the spinal nerves and its cross-section, and relate how different areas of the nervous system conduct sensory and motor functions, and list the various types of cranial nerves, spinal nerves, and briefly describe their functions. Also, contrast the structure of the autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system, and compare and contrast the general functions of parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so that is the entire nervous system. Okay, so let's start by giving to you the meaning of the nervous system. Now, the nervous system, as you can see now on your screen, it helps regulate. Okay, it helps regulate, again, homeostasis. So we need to balance our body, of course, from the head down to the lowest parts of our body. And it integrates all body activities. By sensing changes, we refer to that sensory. And interpreting them, i-refer natin yan to integrative or integration, and reacting them to, okay, that is motor. Reacting to them, motor. Okay, so please take note with the word sensory, integration, and motor. Once we talk about sensory, it refers to the senses. And once we talk about senses, it refers to the sensory organs. And what are the sensory organs that usually found in our head? Okay, of course, we have this eyes, the nose, of course, our mouth, and the ears. So nagkakaroon tayo dito ng body activities by sensing changes. And once we talk about integrative, so we need to interpret what we saw, what we smell, what we hear, what we taste. And after giving interpretation, we have this kind of reacting or reaction or respond to stimulus. And that is referring to movement. Example, contraction of our skeletal muscle. Okay, now what is all about? What is the meaning of this neurology? Of course, neuro referring to the brain, and that is our topic, nervous system. And logy means study. So I just added this definition or a term to define this is the branch of medical science that deals with the study of normal functioning and disorders of the nervous system. Okay, so gusto nyo ba maging neurologist someday? Pwede naman yun. Okay, so yan yung pinaka most important or one of the most important The nervous system is one of the most important body systems. And I believe, para sa akin, pinaka-importante ang nervous system, and that follows the cardiovascular system. But of course, all of our body systems are important. Okay, now in our next slide, so we have to define now or discuss all about the three main functions of the brain or the nervous system. So again, as I give to you the definition again, so ayan, so let us recall lang. So we have this kind of SIM. So SIM talks about, okay, nandito sila ulit, the three main functions. So again, as I give to you the definition of the nervous system, it relates to the functions, of course. Again, what are the three main functions? So receive sensory input from the internal and external environment. So ganyan ang nangyayari sa ating body, of course, in our brain. And of course, integration. We need to integrate the input. What is this input? So a while ago, I mentioned about the sensory organs, our eyes, our nose, our ears, and our mouth by tasting a food. And of course, that includes the skin for the touch, to feel pain, sensations, and etc. And of course, after having that, that is the input. Okay? Na nag-start yan from the brain, so we need to interpret. Kailangan na nararamdaman mo, or for example, you are eating a food, so you cannot say that this food is delicious or not without tasting it. So yun yung sinasabi nating integration. There is somewhat interpretation. You cannot say ang sarap naman ito kung hindi mo siya natikman. Diba? If you're going to use your eyes, mukhang masarap, mukha. Pero you cannot say talaga masarap unless nalasahan mo. So in order to do that, masabi mong masarap, we need to use another sensory organ, and that is a tongue for tasting of food. So that is what we call integration. So we integrated the input from the sensory. Okay, and after that, motor respond to stimulus or respond to stimuli. Now, paano mo nasabing masarap kung wala ka namang manifestation of exerting effort or sinasabi nating muscle contraction without movement? So that we refer to motor output. Motor output refers to the muscle movements, yung ating movements ng body natin. Okay, so please do not forget the three main functions of the nervous system, and that is SIM, sensory input, integration, and motor output. Okay, so how I arrange the three main functions, this is organized para mas naintindihan. And to, of course, to understand it more, so I prepared a illustration. So again, as I mentioned, sensory input, it talks about, of course, our senses. Our eyes, of course, sense of sight. These are the sensory organs. The nose, sense for smelling or smell. And of course, the tongue, this is senses or a sense for tasting a food. And that includes our skin also. So to make it complete, and of course, the sound for hearing. So kompleto na. And of course, this is our brain stem, and the brain itself, which I'll be giving to you the full detailed later. So isa-isahin muna natin. Let's talk about first the main functions of the nervous system. So after the sensory input, diba? Meron kang nakita, meron kang naamoy, meron kang nalasahan, meron kang narinig, and of course, meron tayong nafe-feel, nararamdaman, whether it is very hot or cold, that is the skin, to make it complete. So nagkakaroon tayo ngayon ng input, and that is gathering information. So nag-gather ka ng information. For example, at this moment, you are listening to my lecture and you are writing just to remember all of those explanations from me. Para hindi mo makalimutan, naggagawa ka ng sarili mong notes. And that occurs, yung sinasabi natin, gathering information to monitor changes occurring inside and outside the body. Okay, so magkakaroon tayo ng integration. And later on, yung respond natin to stimulus or stimuli, and that is motor. Okay, next is the brain activity. Now, as you can see on your screen, maybe you're wondering, bakit kaya ang brain natin ay na-divide sa dalawa? And most probably, of course, we have this kind of the right hemisphere, the right side of the brain, I should say, and of course, the left hemisphere. Pag sinabing hemisphere, it refers to the half of our brain, yung kalahati. And later on, I will discuss this to you, the anatomy of the brain. Okay? So, syempre nakikita nyo. So, I need to give to you the detailed or the details about the hemispheres. Kasi as you can see on your screen, medyo hiwalay siya. Okay? So, dahil siya ay naghihiwalay, so, meron tinatawag na hemisphere. So, hindi naman siya ganong hiwalay. So, ang tawag po dyan ay longitudinal fissure. So, mamaya, i-discuss natin yan. So, what is all about brain activity? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng brain activity? So, i-refer natin yan after the sensory input. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng integration. As I mentioned a while ago, anong nakita mo, anong nalasahan mo, anong na-feel mo, anong narinig mo, anong naamoy mo. So, nai-interpret mo. For example, ang bango naman yan. You cannot say that mabango siya kung hindi mo naamoy. So, anong ginamit mo ngayon? Sensory organ, that is smell. So, just like my first example, you cannot say the food is very delicious kung hindi mo siya nalasahan. So the question is, where does integration take place in the nervous system? Of course, the answer is in the brain. Palagi. Kaya yan yung picture natin. So after the brain has processed the information, kasi nagpo-proseso ka ng information eh. Diba nag-gather ka ng information as I mentioned a while ago. So yung impulses na yan from the brain mo, nagpa-process siya ngayon. So after ma-process yan ng sinasabi nating integrative or interpretation from the brain, nagkakaroon ng impulses. Yung impulses na yan nagko-conduct, of course, from the brain and the spinal cord. Bakit na may mention ng spinal cord? Of course, the spinal cord extends kadugtong ng ating brain. Kaya pag sinabi mong CNS, Central Nervous System, i-refer natin yan to the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? So after ng mga brain activities mo, kaya kung naisip mo, eto merong calculations, so later i-explain natin yan. So nandiyan yung integration ng meron tayong tinatawag na right at saka yung left nating brain. Kasi they are called as twins. Okay, so mamaya nandoon yung full details niyan ha. And number 3 natin is tinatawag natin the motor output. So as you can see on your screen, the motor output refers to the muscle and glands control. Bakit may muscle? So do you still remember our discussion last week? So I discussed to you all about the 3 major types of our muscles in the body. Of course, number 1 is smooth muscles. So we have these visceral effectors, followed by the cardiac muscles, and of course, skeletal muscle. So lahat yan may contraction kasi muscle. Now, after sensory input and after integration, so nagbibigay ka na ng information. So how does motor output work in the nervous system. So from the impulses na nag-conduct natin kanina from the brain and the spinal cord, impulses are sent from the receptors through the spinal cord into the brain. Where silang dalawa ngayon ang nagpa-process. Sino yung dalawa? The brain and the spinal cord. They process and synthesize yung sinasabi natin instructions. Diba? Ano ba yung instruction? Ano ba yung gagawin? Parang ganon. Instruction to the rest of the body, sa buong katawan natin. So sila yung talagang nagko-conduct ng impulses. Diba? Kasi nandun sa kanilang neurons and nerve impulses. So yung data na ngayon na naiisip, na dadalhin ngayon down, continue to the spinal cord, nandito na yung ating motor output. Okay? So pag sinabi natin, meron ka na nag-gather information, yung data na yan is sent back through the spinal cord and of course to the muscles, ayan na, and glands for motor output. So tinatawag natin ngayon yan na visceral effectors. Ano ibig sabihin ng visceral effectors? As you can see on your screen, it talks about or it refers to the smooth muscle, the glands in our body, and cardiac muscle. So meron yan tinatawag na involuntary control. Do you still remember the involuntary control? Involuntary. So I and V. Okay, and that includes adipocytes. So yung adipose tissues natin. So nagsama-sama na yung na-discuss natin before in the prelim period. Of course, meron dyan mga tissues. So after that, ang response ngayon ay of course within the body, yung internal and of course external environment. So pag naisip mo ngayon, of course nag-exert ng effort yung sa loob at labas ng body parts natin. And particularly visceral effectors. So ito yung mga yan. And sila yung tinatawag natin motor output. And of course, not also this smooth glands and cardiac muscle, adipocytes, but also our skeletal muscle. Which we refer to that, kasama yan sa motor output natin, yung paggalaw ng ating mga skeletal muscles. So may movements. Kasi hindi ka naman pwedeng walang outside environment na movements ng body mo. So kung ito ang tinatawag natin involuntary control, skeletal muscle naman is for the voluntary control. Okay, do you still remember this function, voluntary? For example, you are only listening to my lecture. Okay, and you are not holding a pen nor a paper. So wala kang skeletal muscle na movements. So nakinig ka lang. Pero once you write what you hear to my lecture, so doon nag-start again yung skeletal muscle mo. So yung sensory mo, nakikita mong nile-lecture ko, naririnig mo. So eyes and of course the ears. So nag-i-integrate ka. Diba? Yung sinasabi mo, wala yung sa PowerPoint yung nile-lecture niyo, ma'am. So nag-i-integrate ka ngayon. And of course, the last would be the motor output. So yun yung sinasabi natin response to integrate to the stimulus. Okay? Again, ito yung nagkukos ng response, so-called the motor output. Okay, so let's go back. The three main functions of the nervous system. Again, number one, this illustration is to receive sensory input from internal and external environment, followed by the brain activity. And this is the integration, integrate the input kasi wala kang integrate kung wala ka namang input. And number three, of course, the motor output. This is referring to the response to the stimulus. So dalawa yon, yung involuntary, okay, at saka yung IN, yung ating voluntary control. Okay, ano yung control? Ng nervous control natin. Ayaw mong gumalaw, ayaw mong magsulat, fine. Okay, but of course, yan yung skeletal muscle. Kahit wala kang manifestation, contraction ng skeletal muscle, meron naman tayo ditong visceral effectors. Okay? So again, those are, ito yung smooth muscle, the glands. Of course, meron tayong cardiac muscles that will continue to, ito yung tinasabi natin, internal environment, nagko-continue yan, nagko-contract within our body. Okay? So I'm now done discussing to you what is the nervous system, their composition, and of course, the three main functions of it. Now, I would like to present to you what are those parts. And we should say this is a map. Diba? Parang chart. So bakit kailangan kong magbigay sa inyo nito? So para guide, so this is a map. Sabihin na natin map or a chart so that you are guided. Kumaga, saan na ang lecture natin? So the nervous system composed again, of course, the CNS and the PNS. Para may guide na susundan niyo yung lecture natin. So in studying nervous system, again, we have two divisions. CNS means central nervous system, and PNS, of course, the peripheral nervous system. Now, what is all about? So yan yung iisa-isahin natin. So let's start talking about the CNS. The CNS composed of the brain and spinal cord, and the brain receives, okay, and processes sensory information. So alam nyo na siya ngayon. Sensory information initiates responses. Diba? May sensory information, mag-i-initiate ka ng responses. And of course, nag-i-store yan, may memories, and generates thoughts and emotions. Ayan na, meron na tayo na mention na memories, may naaalala ka, nag-generate ka ng thoughts mo. Of course, nandito yung may expressions tayo ng emotions. Okay, how about spinal cord? It conducts signals to and from the brain. So yun yung sinasabi ko kanina, nagko-conduct ng mga impulses, signals from galing sa brain, of course, papunta doon sa ating spinal cord na nagko-control ng reflexes activities. Ano ba yung mga reflex activities na yon na meron sa body natin? So, i-relate natin dito yon. Okay? And specifically, nandito siya ngayon, yung autonomic nervous system. So, they are related. Okay? Kaya lang, isi-separate natin when it comes to discussion so that you can understand it better. Okay? So, ano ba yung meron in the CNS? Okay? Unahin muna natin siya. And later on, I will give this back to you. Pag natapos na natin ng CNS up to spinal cord, okay? Ayan, ipe-present ko naman ulit sa inyo ang map na yan so that you are guided. Okay, so let's start talking about the CNS. Again, CNS composed of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, the color yellow represents CNS, central nervous system. Now, why is it called central? Okay, ano bang ibig sabihin ng central? Kasi our topic is nervous system. Pero bakit ang tawag sa kanya ay center? Now, as you can see, central because the brain located at the center of the body. Nandoon siya sa posterior part, nasa likod, kaya nakatalikod siya ngayon. And that composed of the brain and of course, the spinal cord, kaya yellow color. And how about yung other half ng topic natin, which is PNS? Anong bang ibig sabihin ng P, peripheral? Anong ibig sabihin ng peripheral? Peripheral means gilid. Yun ang ibig sabihin. From the word itself, peri means sa labas, sa gilid. So ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin PNS, this would refer to the cranial or spinal nerves at saka cranial nerves. Okay? So ano yung nerves ngayon? Peri meaning it lies outside. Okay? Unahin natin. Meron siyang mga nerves dito sa ating brain. So tinatawag niyang cranial nerves. Pero mamaya pa yan ila-lecture under PNS. I'm just presenting to you the major divisions of the two major divisions, of course, the nervous system. Okay? Again, pag sinabi natin peripheral nervous system, it talks about the nerves. Peri, kasi yung nerve na yon nakikita, nakadugtong doon sa brain. Kaya ang tawag sa kanya ay cranial nerves. Meron tayong 12 cranial nerves. Okay? So meron cranial nerves sa right part or right hemisphere ng ating brain, and meron tayong 12 cranial nerves in the left hemisphere of our brain. Hemisphere, again, means kalahati ng brain, kaliwat kanan. And of course, itong color blue na yan, again, sinasabi natin peripheral. And this is referring to the spinal. Okay, from here, hanggang dito sa ating lower limbs, yan ay tinatawag na spinal nerves. Kompleto, kumbaga paired. Diba? May brain, cranial nerves. May spinal cord, may spinal nerves. And these are the two major divisions. Okay? So yan ang ibig sabihin yan. So isa-isahin natin ngayon. And again, the nervous system, of course, is made up of, again, the PNS and CNS. So yan yung sinasabi natin, may branch ng spinal cord, the brain, and may branches ng cranial nerves and branches of the spinal nerves. Now, in our next slide, let's start talk about now the brain and spinal cord. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin? What is the meaning of CNS? Though alam nyo na yung central. Oo, located siya sa likod ng body natin. Sino yun? Si brain spinal cord. But how do we define CNS? Ano ba ang pinaka natututunan natin pag sinabi natin, oo, CNS composed of the brain spinal cord. PNS, mga nerves nila yan. Sinong nila? Ni brain at saka spinal cord. Now, CNS, this would control most of our body. Okay, again, CNS controls most functions of the body and mind. Yan ang CNS. Okay, so siya, yung dalawa na yan, mostly nagko-control ng buong body natin at saka yung nag-iisip. Kaya yung body and mind. And it consists again of the brain and spinal cord. Okay, how, kumbaga, in the human adult brain, diba, how about the weight? If we talk about the weight of the muscles, sabi natin before or last week, 40 to 50% yung bigat ng total body weight niyan. How about the human or adult human brain? So it weighs about 1.3 kilograms. Baka kala nyo, nagdadagdag din to sa bigat natin. Sa ating timbang, 1.3 kilograms body weight, that constitutes 2% of the total body weight. So meron. So adult palagi, maybe you are wondering, bakit palagi human adult? Of course human, we are human. Bakit palaging adult? Kasi pag adult, di ba yun yung binilang natin ng mga bones and skeletal system? And as I lecture to you, the muscle or the muscular system, palaging nire-refer natin sa adult. Kasi pag adult, ibig sabihin fully developed na. Kaya adult palagi ang minimension ko. Okay? So 1.3 kilograms. Now, what is the true color of our brain? Kasi you will notice later, ang ganda naman ng color. Hindi siya technicolor. So I'm just giving to you illustrations with colors just for you to identify the main parts of the brain and etc. the other parts. So the true color of our brain is a pinkish gray, jelly-like tissue made up of 1 billion of neurons and neuroglia. Okay? So ibig sabihin, yan ang composition ng brain and spinal cord natin. Neuron sa brain, neuroglia naman sa spinal cord. So you cannot count it kasi ito na yung mga tissues natin. As I lectured to you during the prelim period, remember the body tissues? Sana natandaan nyo ha. So itatouch natin ulit dito because that is very important. Kasi kung walang mga neurons, paano nagkakaroon ng mga nerve impulses, nagko-conduct ng mga impulses? So nagmumula dito. And this is the control center, as I mentioned a while ago. Pag sinabi natin CNS, brain and spinal cord, sila yung control center for all body activities. Okay? And human emotions. So yun yung tatandaan nyo. Pag sinabi natin CNS, this is the control center of all our body activities and of course, our emotions. So nandito, kung gusto mo mag-shift ng emotions, kayang-kaya mo. Ayoko nang masaya eh. Diba? I-shift ko kaya. Pero ang hirap, deceiving. Kasi ang totoo naman, happy ka. So, pero kaya nating gawin. Kasi kaya nating kontrolin. So saan nangyayari yon? In the CNS. Okay? And how about the brain? Kung paghihiwalayin natin yan, anong kanilang, kumbaga, yung separation of their functions. So ito kasi, yun yung pinaka-functions nilang dalawa. Specifically, this number 4. Pero pag sinabi nating brain, para saan ba talaga siya? Okay? The brain is the center of our thoughts. Okay? Are you writing? The brain is the center of our thoughts. Diba? And ito yung nag-i-interpret ng alin? Yung mga nangyayari dito sa ating environment. And of course, the brain is the origin of the control over our body movements. Okay? Si brain ngayon, yung center ng thoughts natin at saka sa kanya nagmumula origin ng body movements natin. Kaya palaging kay brain, just imagine, the exact location of the brain is the superior part of our body. Nasa pinakataas siya. So nevertheless, palaging si brain ang nagko-command kung anong gusto nating thoughts, emotions, movements, anong gusto mo sa buhay. Si brain ang nagdadirect. Now, how about the spinal cord? Kung ganyan si brain, paano naman si spinal cord? So si spinal cord, since nag-extend sa kanya, kadugtong, okay, ng brain to spinal cord, si spinal cord naman, nasa kanya yung complex. Madami eh. Bakit madami? Kasi pagbaba, pagdugtong, nasa kanya na yung mga ibang body parts. For example, yung forelimb, at saka yung hind limb, thoracic, abdominal. Okay, yung mga body regions natin. Now, si spinal cord naman, this is referring to a complex organization of the nerve cells. Nasa kanya yung complex organization ng nerve cells which are responsible for movement and sensation. Okay? So kung merong movement din, thoughts and movements, emotions, si brain, pagdating kay spinal cord, ang pinaka responsibility niya yung complex organization ng nerve cells and also movement and sensation. Anong ibig sabihin? So spinal cord means it carries, kinikerry niya yung mga signal between the brain and the spinal cord, of course, the rest of the body. So ang ibig sabihin niyan, again, kinikerry niya yung mga signals. Sino yung sinasabi natin? Spinal cord between the brain and the rest of the body. Kaya, kasi ang haba niya, yung kahabaan niya, imagine mo, nagdudugtong siya from the brain. Pababa, umaabot yan hanggang sa ating limbs. Okay? So again, siya yung ngayon nagdadala ng, sabi natin, complex organization ng nerve cells, specifically for movement and sensation, which carries between the brain, yung signals na yan, and to the rest of the body. Okay? So again, I will now present to you the brain and of course, the spinal cord. So ayan. So what view is this? Of course, anterior view. And of course, it shows itong picture na ito. Of course, ang sagot dyan, may dalawa tayong question mark. This is the answer. Of course, this is the CNS. How about this one? Of course, the other half of the nervous system is the PNS, peripheral, yung mga nerves. And obviously, ito, sinasabi natin, nerves to face, the ganglia, nerves to upper limb, and of course, the nerves to lower limb. So ito yung i-discuss natin later. Maybe you're wondering, ba't hindi nakikita ang mga cranial nerves? Kasi you need to open this. Pag inangat mo ngayon yan, dyan mo makikita sa loob yung mga cranial nerves. Okay, just imagine kung wala ng mga nerves, paano nagkakaroon ngayon ng mga movements dyan? Wala kang makita kung damage ngayon yan. Yung mga nerves, yan yung pinaka-function yan. Wala kang naririnig, wala kang nalalasahan kung damage. So yan yung pag-uusapan natin later in PNS. Okay? So maybe you're wondering, parang hindi ko kilala yan si ganglia. Okay, so ano ba yung ganglia na yan? So yan, nakikita nyo, this is made up of clusters ng nerve cells or nerve cell bodies. Cluster kasi ang dami ng mga nerve cell bodies na nakikita yan all throughout sa ating body. And they are a part, of course, of the peripheral nervous system. So ang pinaka-job niyan, excuse me, ang pinaka-job niyan is nagkikarry ng mga nerve signals. Walang iba. Pag pinag-uusapan natin class, PNS, naririnig po palagi nerve. Kasi yun sila mga nerve sila na kumakabit sa brain, nagdudugtong, kabit, lies outside, ibig sabihin ng peripheral sa spinal cord. And again, yung ganglia na yan, nagkikarry ng signals to, of course, saan papunta? And from, of course, sa CNS. And yan yung mga ganglia. Ganglion, marami ganglia, clusters of the nerve cell bodies that carries nerve signals to and from the CNS. Papunta or galing doon at papunta babalik. So yan yung kanilang relationship. Okay? But before we proceed to the anatomy of the brain, so kailangan i-recall muna natin. So what we need to recall now are the cells of the nervous tissue or the nervus, the cells of the nervous system. So they still remember neuron. Okay? So this neuron is the nerve cell or the nerve cells. So pag sobrang dami, ni-refer natin yung before sa nervous tissues. And these nerve cells is referring to, of course, the receive. This will receive input. Okay, yun yung kanina sinasabi natin, sensory input. So yun yung process niya which produce response. Diba? Naalala niyo yung ating SIM, sensory input. Of course, meron siyang process, may integration, and may motor output. So yung response niya, nandito silang tatlo. And also, it requires oxygen and glucose. So bakit may oxygen? Of course, this will give us life. Kasi without oxygen, of course, wala tayong buhay. Diba? So saan natin kinukuha ang oxygen? Of course, from the external environment for us to survive. Kasi kung walang oxygen, walang breathing. Pag walang breathing, hindi na mag-start mag-pump si heart. Pag hindi nag-pump si heart, walang magsusupply sa atin ng blood. Ganun yun So yung relationship ng ating nervous system to the cardiovascular. So paano ngayon yung pag wala nag-supply ngayon ng blood which carries oxygen and nutrients, wala din mangyayari sa ating brain. Kumbaga parang dead. Okay? And of course, glucose. So bakit may glucose? Of course, this will be nothing without oxygen and glucose. Ano ba yung glucose? This is referring to the energy. Kaya tayo kumakain ng mga nutrients, diba? Nutritious foods. Ano ba yung mga nutrients na yan? Specifically, carbohydrates. Diba? Ano ba yung carbohydrates? Carbohydrates gives energy. And ano yung merong energy na yan sa carbohydrates? Nandoon ang glucose. So kailangan natin ng oxygen and glucose energy for us to survive para hindi mag-malfunction ang ating neurons. Maayos siyang trumabaho by giving to us sensory input, integration, and motor output. Tama yung pag-iisip natin. Let us recall now the structure of course, the neuron. They still remember the dendrites, axon, the cell body, myelin, and nodes of Ranvier. So, i-recall lang natin for the meantime. Bakit? Kasi this is very important. Kung wala ito, nasaan ang mga nerve impulses natin? So lahat yan nag-start from neuron. Remember, as I mentioned a while ago, that spinal cord and the brain, of course, produce or has this 1 billion ng neurons at saka neuroglia. Okay, so let us try to recall. Saglit lang naman to, my dear students. So again, this illustration talks about the structure of the neuron. Okay, so let's start talking about dendrites. So the dendrites refers to, of course, nandami eh. Diba? So receives stimulus from other neurons, kasi hindi lang naman isa yan, or sensory receptors. Okay? Now, how do we describe dendrites? So as you can see on your screen, dendrites are short fibers. Sila yung mga maliliit, yan mga fibers na extended saan sila dumudugtong in the cell body. So yun yung kanyang extension. And nevertheless, ano yung pinaka-major function niya na sinasabi natin? Receive the stimulus from other neurons or sensory receptor. Ibig sabihin, these dendrites obtain information kasi sensory. So nag-obtain siya ng information from other cells and carry that information to the cell body. So dala-dala niya yung information na yon to the cell body. So kaya sensory receptors. Okay? So since the dendrites ay extended into the cell body, so ilagay natin si cell body ngayon. And the cell body, obviously, it is a process where stimulus contains a nucleus. Kasi nandun siya, si cell body ngayon, ang pinaka malapit sa pwesto ni nucleus. Kaya cell body, do you still remember the other name for this, the soma? Sana hindi nyo nakalimutan during our tissue days natin, ng prelim. So processes stimulus contains a nucleus. Kasi siya yung pinakamalapit. Now, another is axon. Okay, si axon again, so as you can see on your screen, this is a thin. Kung ito short fibers, ito naman thin. Thin fiber, mga fibers sila, maliliit. Of course, this is microscopic. You cannot see this with the naked eye. Oo, dinidiscuss natin ang picture. Kasi imagine nyo kung wala ito, wala talaga tayong thinking, wala tayong mga nerve impulses. And the axon functions for transmission. Itatransmit niya yung sinasabi nating stimulus to a gland, yung visceral effectors natin kanina, muscles, organs, yung mga organs ng body natin, and of course to other neurons. Okay? Kasi madami yan eh. Pag dikit-dikit ngayon yan, sinasabi natin nervous tissues. Okay? So, pag sinabi natin transmitting impulses, yung stimulus to a gland, tumutulong siya ngayon mag-help doon sa binigay ng sensory receptors na magkaroon tayo ng manifestation ng body movement natin. Yun ang ibig sabihin nito. Kaya may muscle organs. Okay? Now, how about myelin sheath? Ano naman si myelin sheath? Now, try to observe the picture. Tingnan nyo maigi kung anong pinaka-job ni myelin sheath. Well, obviously, pag tinignan natin si axon, axon is extended, of course, in the neuron itself and down to the axon terminal synapse. Kasi it looks like cable, para siyang kable, mahaba siya ngayon. Diba sabi natin before, para siyang snake or a cable. So, ganyan siya kahaba, pero meron nagpo-protect sa kanya. And that is myelin sheath. Na si myelin sheath, paanong pinoproteksyonan niya ngayon si axon? So si myelin sheath ay siya yung merong fats na dala-dala. Okay, so since meron siyang fats na dala-dala, it is a fatty layer. Pag sinabi mong fatty layer, kaya niya ngayon mag-protect kay axon. So it protects the axon, of course, kaya niyang protectionan because myelin sheath composed of fats. So since composed ngayon ng fats yan, siya yung tinatawag na insulator. Okay? Insulator. Yan yung trabaho niya. Yan yung pinaka-job ni myelin sheath. Okay, so this is a fatty layer or sabihin natin, it wraps around the axon. Kaya niyang balutan ngayon yan si axon para magkaroon siya ngayon ng mas magandang functioning. Okay, kasi pag walang protection yan, kaya insulator siya, mahihirapan siya ngayon mag-transmit ng mga signals. Okay, syempre from the brain down to the spinal cord. Kasi over long distance eh. Ano yung over long distance? From the brain, of course, to the spinal cord. Kaya malaking parte ngayon, malaking tulong yan si myelin sheath, kaya insulator. And how about node of Ranvier? Sometimes it is called as a GAPS. Yan. GAPS ngayon tinatawag natin node of Ranvier, myelin sheath GAPS. Bakit siya tinatawag ng myelin sheath GAPS? Kasi after that, may interval ngayon. Yan. Diba? So may axon ngayon, kahabaan, babalot ngayon si protective layer myelin sheath at may nakikita kang gap na yan. So gaps kasi marami eh. Balot ulit, tapos meron na naman may interval. Now, ano naman ang kanyang pinaka-main function? Bakit may mga ganon? So, ba't may mga gaps? May gaps kasi it allows yung mga ions, may mga ions yan para mag-diffuse. I-diffuse niya in and out of the neuron kasi neuron ang pinag-uusapan natin. Therefore, pag nag-work na ngayon si node of Ranvier, nag-diffuse ang mga ions, nagpo-propagate na. Kumbaga, yung pag-i-interpret mo ng electrical signals from the dendrites down to the axon, nagiging maayos yung pag-conduct ng mga nerve impulses. So, i-diffuse niya yung mga ions. Okay? Kasi dugtungan yan eh. So, kumbaga, I'm just giving to you the physiology of the neuron, how it works. Okay? And of course, I will add this. After this, anatomy na tayo of the brain. So, hindi matatapos yan because this is giving to you the physiological part. So in studying neurons, we have these three parts. So mabilis lang yan. Letter A is multipolar neuron, letter B is bipolar, and letter C is pseudo or unipolar neuron. Now what makes a difference? Anong nakikita? Ba't tinatawag siyang multi? Now as you can see on your screen, it composed of many dendrites. Kaya multi. Okay? Many dendrites and one axon. Multi. Eh para saan yun? Diba? Kumbaga, bakit may mga ganun? So kumbaga, yan yung sinasabi natin, yung mga sensory natin, mga receptors. Yang ibig sabihin yan. A multipolar neuron has many dendrites and axon. And how about this bipolar? Okay? Anong ibig sabihin ng bipolar? So yung bipolar na yan, bi kasi it has one dendrite and one axon. Kaya bi, tagi-isa. So therefore, kung ganyan ang kanyang structure, para saan? So ito yung sensory na yan, yung mga receptors na yan. Dito naman nire-refer yung mga sensory organs natin. Diba? Meron tayong skin, meron tayong eyes, meron tayong taste, diba? Nose, at saka yung ears natin. Okay, so yan yung pinaka-functions nila, yung sensory din. Okay, organs natin. Pagdating naman dito kay pseudo or unipolar, bakit siya tinatawag na pseudo or uni? Pseudo kasi walang appearance ng dendrites. No appearance of dendrites. And unipolar means unipolar neuron kasi may nag-appear lang ng one axon. Kaya uni. Pseudo, walang appearance, hindi nakita si dendrites. Therefore, if that is the case, meron naman siyang dalawang branches. Diba? Obvious naman. So yung axon branches niya function as a single axon. Eh para saan tong dalawang branches na yan? Para naman ito mag-interconnected to the PNS. Okay? I-relate niya ngayon yung mga branches na yan. And ito naman, another branch, sensory receptors, para naman yan sa CNS. Okay? So baka akala nyo, ay wala siyang dendrites, paano siya mag-function? So buo pa rin sila. And these three are the three major types of our neurons. Okay? So gets? Do you still follow?
Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start talking about the anatomy. So siningit lang. We're still under the CNS. Okay, so maybe you're wondering, bakit binalik ulit? So we need to, of course, to study the structure. Kasi nandoon nagmumula eh. Sinasabi natin brain down to the spinal cord, mga nerve impulses. Kasi kung walang neurons, wala rin tayong mga emotion thoughts, wala tayong thinking cognitive. Okay, so the illustration talks about the brain. So ang ganda ng color, technicolor. And again, I discussed to you what is the true color of our brain, di ba? Pinkish or grayish yan, combination. So bakit may color? Para ma-determine mo, ma-distinguish. Now, in studying the brain, we have 4 major divisions. Yan yung mga nasa illustration. Ano yung pinaka 4 regions niya? Okay, starting with the cerebrum, that is number 1. Followed by cerebellum, number 2, and number 3 is the brainstem. So yung brainstem na yan, may 3 composition. Okay, from midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. So hanggang dito yan. So yan, iisa-isahin natin mamaya. And of course, yung number 4 is diencephalon. E nasaan si diencephalon? Nandoon niya sa loob, mid-ventral portion. So kailangan natin yan dinadissect. Sagittal. Naalala niyo yung sagittal? Nandito sa loob. Mid, gitna, ventral, kailangan mong buksan, i-open. Makita mo harapan. So number 4 is diencephalon. Yan. So pre-present ko lang muna sa inyo. Okay, to make it complete, the 4 regions of the brain are cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem, and of course, the diencephalon, or otherwise known as the twixt brain. Kasi may mga ganun tayo. May mga ibang pangalan, twixt brain. So dapat sinusulat. And how about the lobes of the brain? As you can see on your screen in the structure, number 1 is the frontal lobe. Diba? Remember the bones, frontal bone? This is now a lobe. Bakit lobe? Kasi we're referring to a brain. Okay, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, number 2. Number 3, parietal lobe. And number 4, temporal lobe. Kumbaga, 4:4. Ano po yung 4:4? 4 regions of the brain and 4 lobes of the brain. Okay? Now, next, let's start talking about the lobes of the brain. So, alam nyo na kung saan yung mga kanilang location. Okay? So, since meron ka ng idea, oh, nandito yan sa noo. Oh, pag malapad kaya ang noo, mas matalino, maraming alam, mautak, may mga ganun tayong mga eksena sa buhay. May ganun tayong mga sabi nila eh. 'Di ba? Now, what is all about the frontal lobe, the parietal occipital lobe? Now, since yung frontal lobe is situated or located in our, sabihin na natin sa forebrain, F-O-R-E, nandito. Kaya minsan pinagkakamalan talaga pag malapad yung noo, matalino. So hereditary yun. It talks about genetics. Pero kung gusto mong maging matalino talaga, ang knowledge natin na i-enhance. Tandaan nyo yan. Now, the frontal lobe, tandaan nyo to ha, please take note with that. The frontal lobe functions for cognitive. Diba? Pag sinabi mong cognitive, nandyan yung comprehension. Diba? I hope you comprehend. May ganon. So, nandito yung thinking mo, mabilis kang mag-isip, umintindi. And of course, nandito yung control ng movement natin, control movement. Okay, yung thinking, pag-iisip, control movement. So ano yung control ng movement natin? Specifically, voluntary. Makikinig ba ako? Magsusulat ba ako na kay frontal lobe? Okay, how about parietal? Si parietal naman, titignan nyo yung location. Kasi this is the entire brain. And this view is lateral view. Lateral yan. Kasi kung hindi naman nag-lateral view, how come makita mo? Diba? Kung nag-anterior yan, you cannot see the lobes of the brain. So kaya lateral view. Now going back, parietal view, since alam nyo na yung frontal view, nasa kanya yung cognitive, ang function, control niya yung voluntary movements. So parietal lobe naman, siya yung nagpa-process ng information. Parietal lobe controls or gather the process of information ng ano. So ito na yung pinaprocess na information ng touch, ano pa, taste, tatlong T yan eh. Touch, taste, temperature, and of course, nasa kanya din, meron din siyang movement. Again, parietal lobe processes information about temperature, touch, taste, and movement. Yan yung kanyang pinaka-function. How about occipital? Nasa batok. Kasi ito yung kanyang kabaligtaran. Diba yung ka-opposite frontal lobe is occipital. Na usually, meron kang mga complaints na pag meron kang pain nararamdaman in our occipital, the base of the skull or the base of our brain is occipital. Diba occipital bone sa skull, occipital lobe in the brain. Now, primarily, ang pinaka-responsibility nito is only for vision, sa paningin. Okay? So, lahat naman tayo, eventually, lalabo din yung mga mata. Okay? So, nauna lang, aging, pinag-uusapan, nauna lang yung mga taong, of course, nadadagdagan yung kanilang mga age. Okay? So, ganun, nagde-degenerate talaga yung mga organs natin. Now, number 4, the last, of course, obviously, yung structure niya ay very near to the ears. Okay? So, since temporal yan, malapit siya sa tenga, of course, may idea ka na. Ang idea nito, of course, this is for auditory. Diba? Ossicle. Ibig sabihin yan, for hearing. Wala namang iba. Kasi very much associated siya sa ears natin. So nagpa-process siya ngayon, processing for auditory information. May naririnig ka, naririnig mo ang lecture ko. And after that, nag-i-encode niyan sa memory mo. Ito yung lecture ni Ma'am Ito sabi ni Doc na si temporal daw ay of course second to the largest yan ng brain. Kasi number 1, largest is of course the frontal lobe. Siya yung obvious naman. Pangalawa sa pinaka-largest, na ang pinaka-function niya, nagpa-process siya ng naririnig natin, information. Okay? So, pag na-process mo ng information, natatandaan mo, minsan hindi mo natatandaan, so you need to write, nagte-take down notes ka, nag-i-encode sa memory mo So, ganun yung mind natin, preoccupied. Pag sobrang madami ka ng lecture na na-absorb, actually, that affects the digestive system. Nagugutom ka. Diba? So, kasama yun kung paano nare-relate natin ang nervous system to other body systems. Kasi ito na yung pinaka nagkukuma ng buong body natin. Okay? So, again, temporal referring to the auditory. Nag-i-encode na. Nag-generate ka ng information, nag-i-encode na sa ating memory. And again, so ibalik ko lang ang ating 4 lobes of the brain. So, take note for the location and functions. The frontal lobe, of course, the occipital lobe, parietal, and the temporal. Okay? So, we're done discussing about the lobes of the brain. Now, let us proceed to the regions. Yung 4 is the 4 natin. So again, once we talk about the regions of the brain, sabi natin 4, starting from the cerebrum. And cerebrum is otherwise known as cerebral hemisphere. Okay? And maybe you are wondering, hemisphere. So alam nyo na yan. Meron ka ng knowledge. Yung half part ng ating brain. This is the left. And sa kabila naman, right side of the brain. And how would you know kung ito yung kanan o kaliwa? So paano pag umikot ka? So yun yung sinasabi nating planes and divisions. Okay, parang ganito yan, class. O, ayan. So, yan, meron tayong actions of the muscles natin towards the body movement. So malalaman mo kung paano yung right or left mo. So babalikan natin ngayon. So since this is the frontal, medyo protruding eh. Paano mo malaman? Naka-protrude yung ating frontal. Tapos dito naman, medyo paikot siya. So meron kang idea. Okay, so ang tingin mo ngayon sa most superior frontal lobe. Okay, so again, this is the cerebrum. Ayan. From here up to here yan, cerebrum. So again, ito na. This is the diencephalon na hindi niyo nakita kanina. Since kunwari, dissected yan, you can see now, view now the diencephalon. Ventral or mid-ventral of our brain. And of course, cerebellum and the brainstem. So isa-isahin natin yan as we explained a while ago, the lobes. Para mas clear sa inyo, ito pala yun. Bakit pala yung mga thoughts and emotions natin coming talaga from the brain. Okay? So ayan yung illustration natin kanina. So tapusin lang natin ito, then dito tayo mag-i-stop. Okay? Now let's start talking about the first region, that is cerebrum. So hanggang saan? Hanggang saan ba? Since you're already aware of the lobes. So from here, nandito up to here si cerebrum. Imagine mo, it almost occupying the entire brain. Kaya pag sinabi mong cerebrum, kumbaga, siya na yung brain itself talaga. Kasi ang laki ng sinasakupan niya. Okay? So the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, constitutes 85% of the total body weight. Ganyan siya kabigat. Kaya ang laki ng sinasakupan. Now, if that is the case, ano yung pinaka-major function niya? Ang laki eh. Ang laki ng parte niya. So since siya yung pinaka-largest, ang pinaka-physiological part niya ngayon, mag-initiate. Nag-i-initiate siya, nagko-coordinate ng movements. Okay, initiates and coordinates movements. And of course, it regulates temperature. Nag-i-initiate siya, nagko-coordinate ng movements ng buong katawan natin, nag-regulate, co-control niya ang temperature. Saan? And other areas. Okay, ng other areas ng brain. So ang laki, di ba? So yun yung trabaho niya, initiates and coordinates movement and regulates temperature. And of course, nandito rin sa kanya yung sinasabi nating speech. Kaya pag affected ang area na yan, apektado yung pananalita natin, nag-uutal-utal. Okay, speech, nasa kanya rin, cerebrum ang judgment, kung paano tayo mag-isip. Ganyan tayo, minsan judgmental tayo, di ba? And also it enables for reasoning. Nandito rin ang thinking, yung cognitive natin kanina, thinking, reasoning. Of course, nasa kanya ang problem solving. Nagpa-plan tayo eh. Sometimes we experience many difficulties in life. So kailangan in all problems, there is a solution. Dito yung ginagamit natin. And of course, meron din tayong part dito ng emotions, including learning. Okay. So again, napakadami niyang responsibilities kasi it occupies 85%. Again, it initiates and coordinates movements. Nasa kanya ang nagre-regulate. It regulates temperature. Of course, speech, judgment, reasoning. Letter T is temperature. P is problem solving. E is for emotion. And L is for learning. Kompleto na yan. So yan na yung pinaka-job or functions, responsibility of our cerebrum. Okay, so since we are talking about cerebrum, dito na natin i-reveal yung hemisphere. What is the exact location of this right and left hemisphere? So this picture is a super view. Kumbaga yung camera nasa taas para makita mo yung pinaka-dorsal part. So nakataob yan, dorsal ibig sabihin, and this is the anterior part or view and the posterior. Of course, ito yung lateral, yung gilid, yung kanina in-explain natin. And again, it composed of frontal, of course, parietal lobe, occipital, and of course, nandito yung temporal sa gilid, behind our ears. Now, we're talking about here in the illustration, cerebral hemisphere, and that is the cerebrum. Now, inner, the structure shows the longitudinal fissure. So, ano ba yung awang kanina? Parang meron siyang space. So, ang tawag ngayon dyan is longitudinal fissure. Okay? So, titingin ka ngayon dito sa illustration. So, meron siyang small space lang or slit. Okay? Ang tinatawag natin dyan, again, so dinidivide niya ngayon yung right and left hemisphere by longitudinal fissure. Kaya merong division. Kaya meron tayong right and left hemisphere. Okay? Eh paano ngayon siya ngayon nagdidikit? Hindi ba siya naghihiwalay? And the answer is no. Though meron siyang awang ngayon, may konting space, meron naman nagko-connect to one another sa kanila, right and left hemisphere. And that is tinatawag natin commissural fiber known as corpus callosum. So ito yun, sa lateral. Dahil sa kanya, nagko-connect si right and left hemisphere. Siya ngayon ang nagdudugtong. Okay, so merong space, longitudinal fissure. Meron naman nagdudugtong, nagko-connect sa kanilang dalawa, commissural fiber known as corpus callosum. Okay, and of course, the brain composed of mga blood vessels. Okay, yung blood vessels na yan, nagsusupply ng blood circulation from the heart kapag nagpump na siya. So, susupplyan din ni heart. And also, meron tayong covering na arachnoid. Mamaya, explain ko yan. Kasi, di ba, ang brain natin, nagko-cover niyan, of course, skull. Si skull naman, covered by the scalp. Pero, ano yung kaloob-looban ng brain natin? So, as you can see on your screen, meron siyang mga bumabalot pa, nag-wrap around. So, yan yung nire-refer natin as meninges, mga membrane. And before that, allow me muna to explain to you the difference between the right and left hemisphere. Okay? So, tignan niyo maigi. So, ang ganda ng color. Of course, disregard the color. Ang talagang explain natin dito, since meron silang longitudinal fissures, parehas kaya sila when it comes to function. Okay? So, notice the arrow, ha? So, ibig sabihin ng arrow, example natin, right hemisphere, the arrow is going to medial, paloob. Kasi ibig sabihin, nagko-connect siya ngayon dito kay left hemisphere. And the arrow naman is going to the right, interconnected naman siya kay right hemisphere. Kasi they are called as twins. Talagang kambal sila ngayon. Now, what makes a difference? May konting difference ba ang right and left hemisphere when it comes to thoughts, emotions, thinking? And the answer is yes, meron. Diba? Merong ganon. Sa right mo mas ito yung gumagana sa'yo sa left. Now, let us see. Now, in the right hemisphere, ito na, umpisahan natin, sensory stimulus from the left side of the body. So, interconnected siya. Alam niyo na yung sensory, ha? And dito naman sa left, sensory stimulus from the right side of the body. Okay, so yan yung arrow ko. They are interconnected with one another. Okay, now how about motor? Motor control of left side of the body. Of course, dito naman, motor control of the right side of the body. Body, sabihin buong katawan, though we are talking about the brain. Kasi siya naman yung nagko-control ng body movement. So as I talked a while ago. And ito naman, creativity. Bandang right natin, ng brain natin, nandito yung pinaka-creativeness natin. Diba usually tayong mga individual, napaka-creative natin when it comes to our design, sa pagdodraw natin. Minsan naisip mo, ay, palayan ko kaya. Para yung output niya is nagiging maganda. So, nandito yung pagiging malikhain natin sa pag-iisip. Now, in the left hemisphere naman, nandito yung responsibility natin ng speech. Diba? As I explained a while ago, language and of course, comprehension. More on cognitive sa kaliwa. Kaya kapag ikaw ay meron ganitong cognitive, palaging medyo nasa gilid o kaliwa, part ng body natin. And of course, nandito sa left din yung analysis and calculations, which is somewhat related to recognition of words and letters and numbers. So ito po ba yung mathematics? And the answer is yes. Oo, pwede natin i-refer yan sa math. Kasi nandyan yung calculations mo. And in engaging examinations, nag-a-analyze ka and most probably nasa left part ng ating brain. And also, meron tayong time and sequencing. Okay? So dito naman, punta naman tayo ng right, meron tinatawag na spatial. Hindi special, spatial ability. Na anong ibig sabihin ng ability na yan? So yung ating right hemisphere, there is somewhat ability natin or yung ating capacity ng mental capacity natin na nag-generate tayo, generate or transform into a visual image. Minsan, di ba, sa magiging creativeness natin, nakaka-formulate tayo, ganito kaya ang object niyan. Para nakikinita-kinita ko na eh. So, yan yung ibig sabihin. Napo-foresee mo yung mga objects na nakikita mo o yung hindi mo pang alam na object, dito ka nagpo-formulate. Okay? Kung halimbawa, ano kayang shape niya? Ano kayang appearance niya? Maganda kaya siya? So, nandito yun sa right hemisphere. And also, it involves context and perception. Dito ka nagkakaroon ng integration. Okay? And again, recognition of words dito and letters and numbers interrelated to calculations. And also, in line with this is somewhat related to yung spatial activity natin, yung visual objects natin, nandito yung recognition of faces. Diba? Parang kilala kita eh. Parang nakita na kita eh. Dito mo nare-recognize. And specifically, saan tayo nag-meet? Parang doon yun eh. So nandito yun. Faces, places, and objects in the right hemisphere. Diba? Parang nangyari na ito. Parang nakita ko na. Nasa right side yun. Okay, so again, these are the yung twins hemispheres of our brain. The right hemisphere and of course, the left hemisphere of our brain. Okay, so we're done with letter A, the cerebrum. Now it is cerebellum, otherwise known as metencephalon or otherwise known as the little brain. Bakit siya little brain? Kasi maliit lang. Kanina, meron tayong largest. Okay? So, pinakamadami siyang function referring to cerebrum. So, ito naman, since maliit, konti lang din ang functions niya. Kasi little. Pero, nandito sa kanya, yung nagko-coordinate ng movement. Anong klaseng movement yon? Voluntary. Okay? So, meron kang right na gustong i-decide. So, nandito yung decision making mo, magsusulat ba ako? Iinom kaya ako? Kakain na kaya ako? So, parang ganon. So, coordinates movements, control posture. Yan, nandito yan, yung ating homeostasis, balance, and fine motor movement, and involve in motor learning. Okay? So, again ha, nasaan ang location ni cerebellum? At the base of our brain. Sa base ng skull. And also, again, this is responsible for functioning yung sinasabi nating motor skills. Yan ang ibig sabihin niyan. Okay? Alin yung ating motor skills? Of course, balance, coordination, and of course, the posture. Okay? Carry pa, my dear students. And letter C, referring to the brain stem. Kasi 4 lang yun. Nakakatatlo na tayo. Diba? 4 regions of the brain, cerebrum, cerebellum, and letter C, the brainstem. Now, the brainstem is referring to the most primitive part of the brain. Bakit siya primitive? Siya kaya yung importante in terms of breathing, blood pressure, heart rate, and the answer is yes. Kaya sinasabi natin, responsible for sustaining the basic functions of life. Medyo mabigat ang kanyang responsibility. Okay, hindi man siya yung pinaka-largest part ng ating brain, pero when it comes to physiology, nasa kanya yung structure kasi na nagko-connect, di ba? From the cerebrum, ayan. The structure connects from the cerebrum. Of course, this is the brainstem, and this will continue down to the spinal cord. Yung isipin mo, ay ganun pala. And if that is the case, ano yung kanyang responsibilities? Ano yung pinaka-major functions niya? Well, ang pinaka number 1, kaya primitive yan, sabi natin, responsible for sustaining the functions of life para tayo still mabuhay. So nasa sa kanya ngayon yung maraming functions like for example, breathing. Okay? So we're now talking about the functions of life. Imagine mo, ang bigat ng responsibilities niya. So nasa kanya ang breathing. Of course, nandito rin sa kanya ang consciousness. Bakit? Eh, syempre, pagka hindi ka na conscious eh. Although, kahit tayo ay tulog, still conscious tayo. Diba? Paano mo na naiisip? Paano yung nagmamanifest ang consciousness mo while you're sleeping, while you're asleep? So, of course, pag meron mga insect na nagbabite sa atin, example na yan, mga mosquitoes. Diba? Nafe-feel natin na kinakagat ka. May scratches pagising mo, may kamot. Diba? May mga ganon. Still, we are conscious. So, nandito rin yon sa brainstem. I'm just giving to you the idea paano yung consciousness natin kapag tulog. And of course, hindi lang breathing nandito. Diba? Nandito rin ang blood pressure. Ito pinag-uusapan yan. Heart rate. Bakit may mga ganito? Kasi ang responsibility niya, sustaining the basic functions of life. Okay? So again, breathing, consciousness, blood pressure, and heart rate. Na kung isipin nyo, meron tayong mga napapanood, may mga movies tayo, mga film na more on actions, na once dito ang affected ang area, and suddenly, bigla tayong nawawalan ng malay. Diba? Kasi pag ito, halimbawa, napukpok ka ngayon dyan, bumubulagta ka, dumadapa. Kasi nandito yung breathing niya, apektado. Nawawalan ka ng malay, consciousness. And what will happen to you? So decrease ang blood pressure mo, heart rate. So nawala ang consciousness mo. Kasi yan yung pinaka-function ni brain. Okay? So since yan yung pinaka-function ng ating brainstem, nandito yung pinaka-sinasabi nating sectioning . Okay? Paano nangyayari yon? So kung meron tayong mga sinasabi kanina na kanya-kanyang parts, di ba? Kanya-kanyang responsibilities, dito naman, kino-cover niya ngayon yung 3 main parts. As I mentioned a while ago, may midbrain, may pons, medulla oblongata. So isipin mo, sa kanilang tatlo ngayon, i-divide natin ito. Yung mga responsibilities niya to sustain life. Okay? So again, this is the midbrain, the pons, and medulla oblongata. So we're talking about the parts of the brainstem. Okay? Now, let's start talking about the midbrain. Unahin natin yung pinaka-most superior, yung pinaka-nasa taas. So, ba't tinatawag siyang a brain stem? Of course, may kahabaan yan, stem. And this will continue down to the spinal cord, dudugtong. Okay, di ba? From here yan, cerebrum, dugtungan siya ngayon. So, simula dito, ito na yung ating diencephalon. Naalala niyo si corpus callosum. Now, let's start talking about the midbrain. So, si midbrain, meron siyang other name known as mesencephalon. Mesen. Okay? Kanina, metencephalon, ha? Ngayon naman, mesencephalon. Okay, take note for the other term or other name for each part. Yan, mesencephalon. Now, kung siya ay si midbrain, pinakagitna, of course, nasa sa center. Ventral na ngayon yan. So this illustration is the mid-ventral portion of our brain. And of course, you have this forebrain, the cerebrum, and the hindbrain. Now, since nandun siya sa pinaka-most superior, pinaka-unang-unang parte siya, so ano naman ang kinokontrol niya? So midbrain controls the movement. Nire-regulate niya yung motor movement natin, particularly sa eyes, yung paggalaw ng ating mata, more on vision, and of course yung ating ears. Nire-regulate niya yung movement ng eyes, movement of eyes, and of course, it initiates yung pag-conduct ng ating ears, yung hearing natin. So kumbaga, ito yung audio or audio. This is visual. Okay? Now, how about the pons? Ano naman si pons ngayon? So kanya-kanyang trabaho. Si pons naman, as you can see, siya yung pinaka-largest portion. Sa gitna. Pons located in between. Sa gitna ni brainstem at saka ni medulla oblongata. Now, si pons ngayon contains. Siya yung nagko-contains, nag-i-start ng cranial nerves. Tandaan nyo ha, so later I'll be discussing to you the cranial nerves. So dito nag-i-start some of the cranial nerves. Hindi naman lahat kasi meron tayong 12. Okay? And it involves also yung facial nating movements sa muka. Okay, di ba? Yung may mga movements tayo sa muka, meron tayong muscle, smiling muscle, sadness muscle, mga ganon, which transforms information or nagtatransmit ng sensory information. Okay? So facial movements transmits information, transmitting information. Na siya naman ay nag-work together since pababa siya, pons works together with medulla oblongata. So paano sila ngayon nag-work together? Since kadugtong ni pons, magkakarugtong sila, it works together to medulla oblongata yung respiratory rhythm. Okay, nasa kanya ang respiratory rhythm or yung sinasabing respiratory eye movement or the REM, respiratory eye movement. Kasi facial eh. Sabi natin facial. Diba? Pag sinabing facial movements, nasa kanya ngayon yung respiratory eye movement. So doon sila ngayon nagko-connect. Pons that connects with medulla oblongata. Nagwo-work together. And specifically, since si medulla oblongata will continue down to the spinal cord. So ano naman kaya ang responsibilities niya? Okay? So ngayon, since medulla oblongata, pinaka-last na yan, meron siyang other name. Kung si midbrain naman ay mesencephalon, si medulla oblongata ay myelencephalon. Myelin. Now try to write it myelencephalon. So kumukumpleto na meten, mesen, now it is myelencephalon. Okay? Now ano naman ang kanyang major function? Since ito yung sinasabi na natin, otherwise known as myelencephalon, and the last part of the brainstem which connects to the spinal cord, ano naman yung pinaka-essential role niya? So the essential role of this medulla oblongata, siya yung tinatawag na passing of messages. Ano ba yung ipapass na messages niya? Ipapass niya yung mga messages niya from the brain, of course, and to the spinal cord. Kasi siya yung pinakadudugtong na eh. Diba? From brain to the spinal cord. Yun yung ipapass niyang messages between the brain and the spinal cord. And also it regulates the cardiovascular, nire-regulate niya yung cardiovascular system and respiratory system. So medyo mahaba, malaki-laki yung trabaho niya. So ibig sabihin yan, pag ganyan nakikita mo, nasa kanyang cardiovascular system, it talks about the heart rate, the heartbeat, the blood. And respiratory, it talks about the breathing. So dito, ngayon, mamimension natin under medulla oblongata, it composed of 3 vital reflex centers. Okay? Dahil siya na yung pinaka-last part ng brainstem, nasa kanya ngayon yung sinasabi natin 3 vital reflex centers. Since we are talking about cardiovascular and respiratory system. Okay, respiratory system. So what are these 3 vital reflex centers? Number 1 is cardiac. Pag sinabing cardiac, i-regulate niya yung heartbeat. Okay, I repeat, under medulla oblongata, it composed of 3 vital reflex centers. Number 1 is cardiac. Cardiac regulates heartbeat, followed by the respiratory. Respiratory regulates, of course, breathing. So yun yung control, regulates. And of course, the last is vasomotor. Anong ibig sabihin ng vaso? Diba? Vasomotor. It regulates the blood pressure. Okay? So pag sinabing regulate, nasa kanya yung control. Kaya critical. Diba? Critical. So may tendency bang mawalan ang life ng tao? Kaya ang sabi natin kanina, diba? So responsible for sustaining the basic functions of life. And that's it. And please do not forget the 3 vital reflex center. Of course, that is letter C for cardiac, letter R for respiratory, and letter V for vasomotor. Okay, heartbeat, breathing, and blood pressure. Okay, and that's it. And the last part is, dito mag-i-end ang ating brain, the diencephalon. So, andi dito na. Now, they still with me, my dear students?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, so yung pang-apat natin to make it complete, the 4 regions of the brain, ito nang kukompleto sa kanya. The diencephalon, again, otherwise known as the twixt brain. So this is situated, yung exact location niya, as I mentioned a while ago, paulit-ulit ako, ventral mo siyang makikita. Para makita mo yan, so we need to dissect. So since dissected na, medial portion of the cerebrum. Okay, medial portion. Bakit cerebrum? Eh, sabi natin kanina, cerebrum occupies the largest area. Diba? It constitutes 85%. So that's it. So again, this is now the diencephalon. Pinakagitna. Kunwari, dissected na. Okay, tapos na tayo rito. We're done with this. Now, in the diencephalon, since sabi natin, this is located between the brain stem and the cerebrum. Tignan nga natin, located between the brain stem and the cerebrum. Tama naman, di ba? Okay, so it composed of number 1, thalamus, epithalamus, and hypothalamus. May thalamus. Okay? Kung si brainstem nagko-compose ng 3, di ba, ng parts niya, again, midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, meron din naman si diencephalon. Yun nga lang, ang naririnig mo, thalamus. And if you are very familiar with this, hypothalamus, I love you from the bottom of my hypothalamus, and that's it. Yan ang palagi kong sinasabi. Okay, now what this all about diencephalon? Ano naman ang pinaka physiological part nito? Now, a while ago, I said this is the number 1 part. So as you can see in the illustration, thalamus is the biggest part. Parang counterpart niya kanina kay brainstem is pons. So si thalamus ngayon, ang characteristics niya, as I mentioned, largest portion of the diencephalon. Obvious naman. Okay, yung mga characteristics niya, largest portion, pinaka-superior part, unang-una, and functions for, influences, moods, and detects pain. So dito tayo, minsan nagsuswing ang ating mga moods under thalamus, under diencephalon. Again, we're talking about the last region in the brain, diencephalon. Ito na yung kaloob-looban na diencephalon. So dito tayo nakakaramdam ng pain. Example, pag napaso ka, of course, saan yan? Anong sensory? Skin. Anong senses mo? Pain. Nararamdaman mo yung paso, yung sakit. Okay, how about epithalamus? So epithalamus naman is located above thalamus. Oo. And this is located inferior. Kung siya ay above thalamus, inferior naman. Mamaya si hypo. Ayan. Okay? Now, ang function naman niya is for emotional. Emotional siya. And of course, aside from that, visceral response to odors. Kung ito si skin, and most of all, above all, ang sensory organ naman nito ay pang-amoy natin, none other than our nose. So, kanya-kanyang sensory receptors. Diba? The word is sensory. Tapos may receptors. Tapos nagagather ka na ng information, integration ulit. Okay? So huwag niyong kakalimutan yung sinasabi nating SIM kanina. And the last is hypothalamus. Bakit tinatawag siyang hypo? Hypo means mababa. So siya na yung pinaka nasa inferior part ni thalamus at saka ni epi. Okay? So palaging sinasabi dito, I love you from the bottom of hypothalamus. And ibig sabihin yan, sa kanilang tatlo, doon nasa sa kanya yung pinaka lowest part, it controls, nandito na yung characteristics niya, it controls pituitary gland. So ito si pituitary. Nire-refer naman natin yan sa hormones. But basically, ang pinaka-functions niya, it controls homeostasis. Okay? So medyo mabigat, di ba? Pag sinabi mong homeostasis, yung control, di ba? Yung control ng balance natin, the way we think, yung body balance natin, and of course, yung posture. And of course, nandito rin ang body temperature, thirst, hunger, fear, yung rage na yan, na pag sinabi natin rage, ibig sabihin, yung controllable anger natin. Dito yun eh. Pwede natin i-control yung galit mo. Pag sinabi, tama na, huwag ka na magalit. So, nandito yan kay hypothalamus. And even sexual emotions. So, in the parts of adencephalon, thalamus, epi, and hypothalamus, among the four, ito yung pinaka-counterpart nung sinasabi natin kanina na, di ba, meron tayong 3 vital reflexes. Si pons medulla ay yung medulla oblongata. Kung merong midbrain pons medulla oblongata, mabigat ang responsibilities nun. Ito naman, sa kanilang tatlo, ito yung counterpart niya in the diencephalon. Almost everything controllable. Actually, hindi lang hunger eh. Yung sinasabing rage na yan. Nakokontrol mo rin. Paano kung gutom ka, hindi ka pa pwedeng kumain? So, naka-hypothalamus. Yan yung palagi yung iisipin. Palaging mag-activate yan. Palaging gumagana. Tulad yan, I'm talking and talking. So, after that, tsaka ako mararamdaman, gutom pala ako. So, that's how our brain functions. Okay? Now, we're done talking about the anatomy of the brain. So, nandito naman yung central nervous system natin when it comes to meninges. Now, what is all about meninges? From the word itself, meninx. Ibig sabihin ng meninx na yan, membrane. So, this is a part of connective tissue, a layer connective tissue that protects the brain. So, sila ay mga layer. Bakit sila tinatawag ng layer? Kasi it composed of 3. Okay, dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. May mater. So pag naririnig mo yan, na mabasa mo, ay mater. So ito yung mga bumabalot, kumo-cover. Pag bumabalot, nagko-cover, nag-wrap around, ibig sabihin nagbibigay protection. So paano po yun? So itong color white, yan yung ating scalp. So titignan mo rito, di ba? Hair yan, scalp. And this is the skull, yung bone, which protects the entire yung ating brain, head. Kaya nga importante ang pinaka-brain is the most important part on our body. Kaya pag ikaw ay gumagamit ng motorcycle, ng motorbike, kailangan mo talaga mag-wear ng helmet. Kasi aside from this layer protection, skull, scalp, meninges, meron kailangan ikaw ay covering sa pinaka-head mo. So kailangan tayo nagsusuot ng mga helmet. Diba? Sa mga babies naman, pag ina-expose mo yan, palaging may sombrero, nagko-cover. Kasi probably ito yung pinaka-most important. Nandito lahat yung mga diniscuss natin. Remember the regions of the brain and the lobes? Kaya sobrang importante ng brain natin. And this will continue down to the spinal cord. Silang dalawa. And we refer again to that, the CNS. Now let's talk about dura mater. Since obviously, siya ay nakakakuha ng malaking layer, thickest layer, walang ibang gagawin yan, kundi it will give or serves as protection. Yun lang naman ang talagang gagawin niya, protection. But not only to the brain, but as well as in the spinal cord, aabot yan. Ibig sabihin, ang meninges, hindi lang nakikita yan in the brain. And that follows the spinal cord, ko-cover yan, buo. Kaya nga sabi natin CNS. Merong dura mater, arachnoid, pia mater, yung ating brain and spinal cord. Okay? Since the dura mater has the biggest or largest, diba? Yung widest na protective layer, ano naman si arachnoid? Diba? Arachnoid mater din yan. May mater din. Now, si arachnoid naman, yung second layer na nagko-connect, of course, kay dura, ano naman yung kanyang nasa middle siya, responsibilities. So kung yung isa, si dura mater nagko-cover, arachnoid naman helps protect the brain. So tutulong siya para mag-protect ng brain and spinal cord. Okay, paano yun? Paano siya nag-protect? Di ba? Sometimes meron tayong mga sudden impact. Okay? Minsan meron kang memory loss, memory gap. So kailangan ito. So ito yung mga bumabalat nagko-compose. Wag naman sana yung mga nagkakaroon ng amnesia. And most probably, pag may defect dito, yung sinabing meningitis, that's because due to viral infection yon or bacterial infection. Okay? So kung nakakamatay ba yon? Pwede. Lalo na pag hindi siya naagapan, hindi siya masosurpass. So ganun yung mga scavengers natin. Now, going back to arachnoid, so it helps to protect the brain. Tutulong siya mag-protect kay brain and spinal cord. Aside from dura mater na nagbibigay ng mas malaking protection kasi it occupies the largest area in the meninges. Now, how about pia mater? Since si pia mater na ay nearest and closest to the brain, siya na yung nakadikit. So, ano naman yung pinaka-responsibility niya? So, kakaiba. Bakit kakaiba? Since siya na yung nakadikit sa brain natin, so it acts as a barrier. Pag sinabi mong barrier, nag-i-aid siya ng production ng cerebrospinal fluid. So, nandito yun, yung barrier niya ng cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. Now, anong ibig sabihin ng fluid na yan? So, yung brain natin composed of fluids. Kaya hindi pwedeng sumobra ka sa fluid, nagkakaroon ng hydrocephalus. Lumalaki yung ulo. Hindi yung ibig sabihin, yung mayabang. Ibig sabihin, it becoming bigger. So, hindi pwede. So, ano para saan yan? Para saan yung CSF? So, i-discuss natin yan dito. Okay? So, ito yung another picture. I'm just giving to you the idea na meron tayong tinatawag na cranial meninges for the brain and spinal meninges for the spinal cord. Okay? Now, this still follow. Ito rin yung kanina. So, another illustration lang. Okay? And of course, sa arachnoid, hindi ko ata na-mention. Diba? Sa arachnoid, non-vascular ito. So, wala itong presence dito siya. Okay? Non-vascular si arachnoid without the presence of the blood. Kasi ito nakikita nyo, may red area. Okay? Nagsusupply din, of course, ng blood circulation. So going back to this, of course, we are still talking about the covering protective layer of the brain. Arachnoid is considered a non-vascular. Pag sinabing non-vascular, walang presence ng blood. Okay? So, nasaan ang presence ng blood? Meron bang presence ng blood kay dura mater? And the answer is yes. Meron ditong somewhat na sinasabing pag-supply ng venous drainage. Meron. So, ito yung picture na yan. Okay? Yan yung blood vessel. Pagdating kay arachnoid, wala. And of course, we are talking about now the last part, which is pia mater. Which sinasabi ko kanina, pinaka-nearest, pinaka-nagdikit siya sa brain ngayon, ano ang difference niya sa dalawa? Kasi usually protective layer yung dalawa. So ito rin, oo, kasama. Kaya lang nandito sa kanya, a part of that, sinasabi ko kanina, it acts as a barrier. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng barrier? So nandito yung production ng CSF. Now, ano ba yung CSF na yan? CSF. Cerebrospinal fluid. So, ito na yung illustration. Okay, again, CSF. Saang part ito ng meninges? Okay, again, nandiyan pa ba? This is the last part of the meninges. This is referring to
Pia mater po.
pia mater, DAP. DAP, dura arachnoid pia mater. So nasa sa kanya, nandito yung production, nagproproduce ng CSF. Hindi pwedeng sumusobra, kaya lumalaki yung ulo, yung head. So yung blue space and arrows represents the CSF. Okay? Ano ba yung CSF? Kasi sabi ko nga, may supply ng blood. Diba doon pa lang kanina kay dura mater, may venous drainage na. Pagdating kay arachnoid, wala. So this is a clear and colorless fluid. Of course, pag sinabi mong fluid, colorless. Sa picture lang naman, may color para ma-identify nyo, ma-distinguish. And produced by the choroid plexuses. Ano ba yung choroid plexuses? So doon sa kaloob-looban ng brain, mamaya after this, i-discuss ko, doon nakikita yung mga ventricles. Meron tayong tinatawag na 3 ventricles ng ating brain. Para makita natin, masabi natin, paano nagproproduce ng CSF, si pia mater. So produced by the choroid plexuses and found within the ventricles of the brain. Okay? So yung mga ventricles ng mga brain, subarachnoid, pag sinabi mong sub, space yan. Kanino? Kay arachnoid mater. So yan yung space na yan and central canal for the spinal cord. Pag sinabi mong central, gitna, CNS pa rin tayo, canal, yung passageway, doon dadaloy. Ang alin? Yung CSF. And primarily, the function of CSF is to cushion the brain. Cushion the brain within the skull. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng cushion? Ito yung nagsiserve as shock absorber. Diba? So malaking parte yun eh. Kaya kailangan natin i-discuss. Shock absorber within the CNS. Of course, brain and the spinal cord. Kasi, bakit? Paano siya nagsisilbing shock absorber ng brain and spinal cord? Siyempre, nandito nagsisirculate ang sinasabi nating fluid. Na ibig sabihin ng fluid, anong meron sa kanya? Of course, it composed of many molecules. Ano yung merong molecules na yun? May nutrients. Diba? Hindi basta-basta lang magsusupply ka niyan ng CSF. May dala-dala yung nutrients eh. Of course, that composed of a blood. Na ang trabaho ngayon yan, pag si pump ngayon, si heart ngayon, nag-start mag-pump, susupply niya ng venous drainage nga ng blood ang ating brain, which later on, pag natapos na yan ngayon, of course, circulation, kaya nga it talks about blood circulation, nire-remove niya ngayon yung waste products. Okay? So yan yung trabaho kung bakit tayo may CSF. Kailangan nililinis, kumbaga. So it talks about how the blood, the heart, relates to the nervous system. Kaya next meeting, yun ang topic natin, cardiovascular. And to continue, ang sabi natin, paano napoproduce ang pia mater ng CSF? So produced by choroid plexuses, ang tawag doon. Ano yung mga choroid plexuses? Found within the ventricles of the brain. Now, nasaan ngayon ang mga ventricles ng mga brains natin? So ilan lahat? 3. Ano yung 3 ventricles ng brain? Starting from the lateral ventricles. Okay, ventricles of the brain, fluid-filled cavities. Pag sinabi mong cavities, may mga parte kung saan ang passageway nito. So nasaan ngayon si lateral ventricles? 3 lang yun eh. Lateral ventricles, 3 ang ating mga ventricles. Number 1 is lateral ventricles. Number 2 is third ventricle. And number 4 is fourth ventricles. Sa 3. Para saan yun? Para makita natin kung paano nag-produce ng CSF. Sino? Si pia mater. Meron siyang mga choroid plexuses. So this is found in the cerebral hemisphere. Saan nakikita? Cerebral. Diba? Hanggang saan ba yung cerebral hemisphere natin? Sabi natin kanina, hanggang dito. So this will communicate with the third ventricle. Okay? So makikipag-communicate nga ngayon sa third ventricle. So tama, naka-occupy niya yung space. Diba? Sa gitna, mid-ventral. By means of paano? By means of foramen Monro. So ito ngayon si foramen Monro. Okay? So ano yung color blue na yan? Tinetrace natin yung CSF. So number 2 naman is third ventricle. Nasaan ang third ventricle natin? Ito. So this is a small slit cavity located in the center of diencephalon. Diba? Bakit diencephalon? Nandito tayo sa location, sa pwesto ni diencephalon. Saan banda? Between two thalami. Ano yung thalami na yan? Remember the thalamus, epithalamus, hypothalamus? And most probably, nandito ngayon yan. Kay thalamus at saka kay hypothalamus. Kaya thalami. Pag sinabing thalami, plural ng parts ni diencephalon. And this will communicate with the fourth ventricle. Nagko-communicate ba? Yes, kasi magdugtong-dugtong lang sila eh. Nasaan si fourth? Ito po. By means of aqueduct of Sylvius. So ibig sabihin, dito tinetrace natin paano na mag-circulate ang blood. So yun CSF. Diba? So tracing of the passage or pathway. And of course, ito na yung fourth ventricle. So located at the base of the cerebellum as you saw a while ago, sa pinakababa. And this will continue down to the central canal of the spinal cord, pababa. And of course, yung iba may mga communication openings, meron din ito. Okay? So Luschka, foramen of Luschka, and foramen of Magendie. So ito yun ibig sabihin. Si cisterna, magna. Okay? So by means of, ito na yung central canal, down will continue this, the spinal cord, cisterna, magna, ito na yung communication niya. Two openings, Luschka and Magendie. Okay? So, are we done with the brain? And the answer is yes. Tapos na si brain. So, mabilis na lang pagdating kay spinal cord. Okay? Now, do you still follow, my dear students? Still, we are in the CNS and we are now talking about the spinal cord. We are done with the brain. Okay, do you have a question?